Welcome now to Saints in the Shadows. Hear the stories of the saints, learn about things you never knew. See if you can figure out who the saint is before the end.
Alexandria was a city that lived on the edge of brilliance and trouble. Its skyline shimmered with the light of scholars, its streets murmured with foreign tongues, and its churches, young, vulnerable, flickered like candles fighting the coastal wind. And somewhere in that commotion lived a man whose gentleness masked an iron core. He did not bark orders, he did not posture, but when he spoke, people listened, for his voice carried something rarer than authority: conviction. Uncompromising, unpurchased, and above all, steadfast. It's in this quality that he receives the name that we're going to call him for this episode, the Steadfast Voice. He did not seek power, he inherited it. In the year 313, he succeeded the saintly Achillas as Bishop of Alexandria, the city that served as both beating heart and battleground for emerging Christian thought. He stepped into the role with a scholar's mind and a shepherd's heart, mild, affable, deeply charitable, full of zeal and faith. His clerical choices were careful, often preferring men who had been shaped first in solitude. Where faith is forged slowly, honestly, under him, Egyptian clergy grew not in number, but integrity. But every era has its storm, and his storm had a name: Arius. Arius was clever, polished, persuasive, a master of literature and rhetoric, beloved by many, envied by more. He had begun as a deacon, then priest, serving in one of Alexander's quarters. But brilliance can sour into pride, and pride can sour into rebellion, and Arius rebelled. He whispered theories that tickled itching ears, that Christ was a creature made from nothing, that there was a time when the Son was not, that the Word could err, suffer, change. We've covered Arius in the past, but ideas that he came up with that sounded sophisticated and undermined the heart of Christian faith. The Steadfast Voice listened long, listened patiently. But patience and silence are not the same. When Arius' teaching swelled from whispers to sermons and his followers grew bold, the Steadfast Voice took action, not in anger, not in spite, but in defense of the truth. He communicated the heretic, standing against a tide of confusion that threatened to wash the church away. The backlash was fierce. Arius had friends, allies, patrons. The city buzzed with argument. Letters flew across provinces. Households split. But the Steadfast Voice did not waver. Then came a summons, one that would echo through history. A gathering was called in Nicaea. Bishops from across the empire, the Christian emperor Constantine presiding. The question on the table: who is Christ? This was no academic debate. This was the hinge of centuries. The Steadfast Voice arrived not as a politician nor as a showman, but as a witness. He laid out the danger in Arius' ideas with clarity, charity, and unflinching resolve. He defended the apostolic faith he had received, the faith he would pass on, and when the council drafted its creed, the creed we still recite today in our churches every other Sunday, it was shaped in part by the stand he had taken. The Voice, quiet, mild, charitable, helped anchor the Nicene proclamation: light from light, true God from true God. The storm did not break him. The storm revealed him. He was already older when Nicaea ended, and older still when illness came. On his deathbed, surrounded by clergy, he made one final act of stewardship. He named as his successor a young deacon of fiery brilliance, and even fiercer loyalty to the truth, Athanasius, who could carry the Nicene torch further and longer than anyone could have foreseen. The steadfast voice faded from the world around 326, but his work roared on. Arius would continue to trouble the church for decades, but the foundation had been laid, the creed had been drawn, the line had been held, because of a man who spoke rarely, but spoke rightly. A man who valued truth more than ease, a man whose conviction stood firm when an empire trembled. That steadfast voice had a name, one whispered with affection in catechumen circles, spoken with reverence in councils, and carried in liturgies long after emperors fell. His name was Alexander, Saint Alexander, confessor and patriarch of Alexandria, defender of the faith, guardian of the Nicene truth, champion of the church he loved, today's saint in the shadow. All right, now a couple little tidbits. First of all, I realize that for a lot of us, we don't know who Saint Alexander is. This is one of those things. I almost always try to choose saints that most people will know. But the truth is we don't. We just there was just none of them. He was one that I recognized, and there was one more that I recognized, but I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to know who Saint Alexander is. But it was still really good. Again, the precursor to Athanasius. He's the one who kind of let loose with Arius when Arius first came on the scene. So he was also a confessor. And remember, I've talked about that in the past. So whenever you have a saint and it has confessor, what that means is more than likely he was maimed in some way for his faith. So
we'll say that again. He was what? Maimed?
Maimed. He carried scars. He carries.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's what it meant. That's what it meant to be a confessor. They called them confessors whenever their body basically was somehow damaged over their faith. So the fact that he's called confessor, more than likely it means that he probably had an injury or some kind that he carried with him. So anyway, again, I understand if you probably don't know Saint Alexander, but it's okay. He's a great saint to have, and one that should be celebrated. His celebration day for me is tomorrow. Now I'm hoping to get this episode out because it's Thursday, February 26th. February 26th. I know it's not a lot of time. I usually like to have these at least a few days in advance, but again, I was trying to go based on ones that we might know are recognized.
Yeah. I didn't. I wasn't aware of that till now. So, because I didn't grow up with saints or anything, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, and again, it's
I've
one
known
of
a few.
Yeah. Well, and exactly, you'll know the one. There's one coming up. I wrote one for the Periscope, the newsletter, the paper that actually comes out, and I'm pretty sure you'll know that one.
Okay. Gotcha.
One of the easiest ones I've done so far, but it's still good. I still love it. But no, I try to choose ones that a lot of people might know. Now, again, that doesn't mean you will know them. It just means you might know them. This is one of the few times I picked somebody that I really honestly didn't think anybody but maybe me and a few others might know. So anyway, yeah, there you go. Okay, so as a cocktail, they have listed as the sidecar. This was not in my drink book, but this is a very known cocktail. It's a very simple basically. It's a classic, and it's again the idea of a sidecar, so it goes beside it. It's not overbearing, it's not kind of controlling. So just look up a recipe for a sidecar. And now here's the interesting one. The interesting one is this. It's called the actual dish, the main dish is called chicken tagine. And I looked it up. It is it's like a Moroccan dish with like chicken and stuff. It's made in a tagine pan. That's Tagine, and I very well might be mispronouncing that. So if you're looking for something a little bit different, but still looks really good, actually look for chicken tagine. So yeah, it's here. Let me see. Its flavor profile reflects the blend of simple ingredients with deep warmth, sense of endurance, slow cooked. It's kind of got a little layers to it. You do chicken thighs, preserved lemons, preserved lemons. Yeah, it looks really good. I looked it up earlier tonight. So yeah, definitely look that up if you get a chance. But there you have it. There is tonight's Saint in the Shadows.
And so it ends. The light shines in the shadow. And now you know more about the story of one of the saints of history.